Hello, everyone. I like to just talk about, like y'all's insights, comments, and on this video that I'm about to make. I like to talk about the music I make. Do y'all think I should like keep the music, making it instrumentals, and making some lyrics to go with it, or do you think I should sell you some of the music, instrumentals, whatever, just comment below the comment section. Let me know y'all's insights on the music that I do, the music videos I do. Let me know y'all's opinion on it, if it needs to work on or if it needs to be fixed or whatever. Um, well, we're going to talk about America, the truth about America, and the imperialist army who sits here and lies to the public with greed and selfishness. So, we're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about the cons about losing Trump too early. One, if we lose Trump too early before the election even happens to get a new president in the White House, the government will shut down. Martial law will probably move in, and there'll be a new civil war because there'll be nobody in the White House to protect us. And one, we have to have somebody in the White House, period. No one can't be out of the White House because if no one's in the White House to have control over the the society of citizens to protect themselves, we're vulnerable to be attacked. And I know it sounds stupid and y'all don't believe anything what people tell you because you want to believe the media, but the media is not going off to tell you the truth about what the cons are in losing a president too early in time before an election even happens. We will end up in a shitload of crap that we can't get out of. We'll be vulnerable to be attacked because we'll have nobody in general office to protect the citizens in the military to protect us, which means that there'll be a war in our homeland. And a lot of crap will go down. And I don't think y'all want that. So even though you want Trump impeached, yeah, it's good in a way, but it's bad in a lot of ways. Uh, in order to have this successfully done without the White House and our citizens being endangered, you gotta you gotta do it during the election hours. Like the best way to get Trump impeached and the best way to go about doing it is wait until the election day is closer and then impeach him. But if you impeach him now or anytime soon before the election even comes to get a new president in the White House, we're vulnerable to be attacked. I mean, it's that simple. We're vulnerable to be attacked. We're vulnerable to be hacked by a, a, another country, hacked, and all our information will be out there because we ain't got nobody to protect us. If we don't got nobody in the White House, that's a shitload of shit that we got to deal with, and a lot of crap that will be over our heads will knock us to a point that we can't get back up. And I don't think anybody wants that. Now, America. Americans call themselves Americans, but yet they don't even live by the code. The code of being an American is to actually show dignity, respect to one another's culture, no matter what color, what race, or what belief or background you have. That's part of being in America. Now, America is not what it used to be. America's fallen to a pits of hell because they created it. The more shit you create, the more trouble it's going to make. Just letting you know. If you sit here and do wrong to others, wrong follows. If you sit here and talk behind people's back, people are going to talk behind your back. It's called karma. It's a mixture of both. Can't have two of the same without one of the other existing coping behind each other, because each one has a purpose and each one has a reason. You can't sit here and diss somebody's belief or diss somebody's race or culture because of their differences when each person has a value to learn and grow and strive to perfection and be a better person spiritually, mentally, and physically. If we only think about the aspects of one, then we're not thinking about the aspects of the bigger picture with the beautiful colors of the rainbow that can equal us out to balance us and bring us together. Like what that guy, I don't remember his name, but I learned him in history. I don't remember his name, but a very famous guy said, "Together we rise, apart we fall." And that's a very true statement. If we don't come together while we have a chance and while we're still living and while we're still breathing and while we're still, doing what we're doing in the moment and now, we're going to lose ourselves and we're going to lose our country. All because of people's ignorance and ego getting in the way and thinking that they know everything instead of coming to grips with the fact that they might actually be wrong. It takes a true man and woman to realize of actualization and realization to realize that they're wrong mentally and they're wrong spiritually. If you can admit and commit and dedicate that you know that you're wrong, then the truth will open up to you and you'll be set free. But until then, nobody knows the truth. Nobody knows the afterlife. Everybody's going to have different opinions. Everybody's going to have a different belief. So we got to learn to accept that and move on. Life is too short to be pissed off all the time. Tomorrow you could be dead for all you know. And that's reality. And if you don't realize that and you don't accept that, then how could you accept to go to heaven if you can't even accept what today is and what tomorrow might bring? If you can't learn to accept and let go, then you're not growing, you're not learning, and you're definitely not bringing people together. You're breaking people apart. We all got to come together as America. Look at how much shit we're breathing and breeding in this crap that we're sitting here slapping each other in the face because nobody likes each other because everyone wants to believe something different. We all got to come to terms and realize nobody's right about the afterlife, and nobody's right about color, and nobody's right about anything. The whole point in living is to learn from each other. The whole point in learning from each other is to strive to a better you. And if you can learn that and realize that, then you'll grow like a blossom of a valley of a flower. If you can't learn that, then how do you expect to even know God if you can't even know yourself? You're created in God's image. Am I correct or am I wrong? If you're created in God's image, you should know yourself before you know somebody else. Because you can't know nobody else until you know yourself. It's the same reflection staring back at you like a pond of water looking back in the reflection, looking back at you. Each thing has a reason and purpose. Each reason has a purpose behind the reason. Each season has a change of the moon to change weathers like food. Each thing in this world, in word, has each value to its quality to make us better and grow and strive to stand together as a family. And if we can't see that, then we don't know God. I hate to admit this to y'all, but God doesn't need a fucking label. I hate to use the language that I use, but it's the truth. God does not need a fucking label. He does not need a Bible to be labeled something. He does not need a book to be labeled something. He is what he is. He's been here before us in existence and beyond time itself. He has no ending. He has no beginning. He always is. There is no such thing as a label. You should never label God. God doesn't care what you wear. God doesn't care if you look like shit. God don't care about that. He cares about your heart, your soul, your spirit. What's in the mind or what you're thinking creates your cycle of life. And if you think it, so shall it be. It turns into reality to you because you think it, because that's the way you were raised. So nobody in the society is wrong about any belief. Each value has its own quality, and each God has its own God. But each God has its own purpose for living. It's to strive to better ourselves. That's the whole point of living. You shouldn't go and commit suicide because somebody did this or that, or you don't know what is true. Well, I'm telling you the truth. This is the truth. This is reality. God don't care what you come from. God don't care what you wear, because God don't look at that. He don't look on the outside. He looks on the inside. What you are, what you tell yourself, is what God will see in you. And what you tell yourself and what you do to others and how you treat others will determine what God sends you. It doesn't matter what you wear, what you look like. You can look like a homeless man, and God don't care. You know, it actually says a homeless man has more opportunities to enter heaven than a rich man or a person with money has to enter the heavens. I hate to tell you this, but most of you people don't read the Bible. Most of you people don't study the Bible. And if you take time into consideration and realize the criticism that I'm giving you is to grow and make you a stronger person mentally and physically and spiritually, then maybe you might actually become a better you. Infinity is the eternal life that we can all be something more. I hate to tell you all this, but people that say they know the Bible are usually the ones who don't know the Bible. If you can accept that you don't know something, then you already know something, because you already have that insight and that mind state and also that soul of purity to realize that you're actually wrong, and you can accept that and grow from it to better yourself. But if you can't, then you're not really entering the kingdom of heaven, and you're definitely not entering a belief system that's correct and following what is right. You're following your ego, because your ego speaks louder than your spirit. And if you let your ego get the best of you, you're shit. You're like crap out in the toilet. You're nothing, because you're not living by action. In order to believe something, you got to live by action. You can't sit here and say you believe something and not live it. It's totally unethical. It's unethical. It's no way around it. I mean, if you don't live what you are today, and you don't live in the moment and now, and you don't accept that you're actually wrong about something, you don't know shit. The only thing you know is how to shit in the commode and talk a bunch of crap. A bunch of gossip crap that doesn't even amount to shit. Doesn't even help us grow. Doesn't help our community come together. Doesn't help you spiritually. Doesn't help you mentally. Doesn't help you at all. You can't expect to know God if you don't know yourself. If you know yourself and you accept that you're wrong about something, you know God. Because God also admit that he was wrong in some of the things he did. That's a sign of knowledge. That's a sign of spiritual knowledge if you can accept that you're actually wrong about something. It says that in the Bible too. If one accepts that he is wrong, or her, it says that you will have spiritual knowledge and you'll have aspects to grow spiritually and mentally. If not, you will fall from the grace of God. People don't realize this crap. I hate to get all biblical and conceptual, but this is the reality of all realities. Stay on top or life will kick you in the ass. That's reality. If you go by and follow what everyone else tells you, you're not learning, you're not growing, and you're definitely not becoming a better you to enter the kingdom of heaven. Well, just like if we lose Trump, yeah, there's pros and cons, just like there's pros and cons in spirituality. There's pros and cons in everything. There's pros and cons in drinking too much water. You can actually drown from drinking too much water. There's pros and cons in reading too much. Too much knowledge can actually be a bad thing. It can make you go insane. It can make you go over the edge and make you lose yourself in a lane of confusion. Too much of anything can be bad. That's why there's a balance to keep existence and existing, fluently moving like the water itself. Water don't need a label. God don't need a label. It's a reflection staring back that is the reflecting of you. What you are, what you do, is what you determine yourself to be in the future. If you don't see this and you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, then something's wrong with you, not with the people around you. Something's wrong with you. God don't need a label. God don't care what you wear. God only wants